Morning. Today is the 17th day of Menachem Av. In today's lesson, which is in Epistle 5 in Geras HaKodesh on page 64 in Achayenu, imagine a genius having to condense their wisdom into one word. Even if you're not a genius, how would it be possible? An infinitely greater contraction was required for Hashem to contain himself and articulate, quote unquote, creation by means of the 10 utterances. So we learned above that the Zohar teaches, who makes the holy name every day, he who gives charity to the poor. So tzedakah is a lot more than what you think you're doing. You're giving a few dollars to the poor people. You're actually making the name of Hashem. The relevance of this answer, however, remains obscure. So therefore, equipped with this foregoing insight, we revert to the question with which this sugya, this epistle opened. How does giving tzedakah to the poor make a name for Hashem? So the Alter Rebbe explains as follows. And he says, V'hinei ba'adam atakta in page 64 in Chayina. V'hinei ba'adam atakta in l'moshel. Mishu chacham gadol haskil niflois chachma. So let's say a man, when one is so great to comprehend the wonders of wisdom, and he tries to mitzamtzem sifle machshavte ba'is echa midiborei, tries to contract his knowledge and thought into a single letter of speech. How's that possible? This is a stupendous contraction and a great descent for his wondrous wisdom. Precisely as this analogy, but infinitely more. There was an immensely great and mighty contraction when it came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu during the 6 days of creation. Kasher b'dvar Hashem shamayim nasu. The heavens were made by the word of Hashem. During the 6 days of creation. Meaning by the letter Hey, a light letter of the 4-letter name of Hashem, this is not only a single letter, but it's an insubstantial one compared to the Yud, maybe in the Vav. Pasuk says, these are the chronicles of the heaven, Baram, meaning when they were created. By revocalizing the Hebrew letters of the word, the sages read it as if they were simultaneously pronounced Behei Baram. The verse would now mean that they are of the heavens and the earth. With the letter Hey, he created them. So this letter Hey, he makar hates ma'amaris shenimshukom maimer rishon bereishis dename maimer hu. The letter Hey is the source of the 9 creative utterances, which issues from the first utterance, Bereshis, in the beginning, which itself is a creative utterance. Think about a word. Take the word neshama. When you have the Hey at the end, right? Is that a significant part of the word? You have the neshama, the mem, the shin, the shama. At the end, the Hey kind of like just, it's there, but what does it do? The Hey is the most significant part of creation. Okay, if we shuffle around a little bit, Behi Baram. Here we have He Bechinas Chachma. So the Hey is something. Identical sphere of Chachma, which is called Reishis, as in the phrase Reishis Chachma, the beginning of wisdom. So the descent of Chachma, the source of the other 9 creative utterances, into Malchus, the lowest of the spheres, involves an intense degree of contraction. Ach oz haisam shakavida dezai beli isus lasata klau ki adam ayin lavad kulu aki chavetz chesed va'olam chesed yibana. At the same time, at the beginning of creation, this downward flow of chachma to malchus occurred without any arousal from below whatsoever, as the pasuk says, for there was no man to work to bring about the initiation from below. That's what we do in the month of Elul. It occurred solely because Hashem desired to act with kindness. That's why He created the world. It's also written that the world is built by kindness. This is the meaning of another interpretation of the pasuk, that these are the chronicles of heaven and earth, meaning when He created, and by transposing the Hebrew letters of this word, the sages read as if it were simultaneously pronounced Ve'avraham, Vihibaram ba'Avram. It's very similar in words. You change it around a little. Since Ki Chesed Avram, Avram is known and embodies kindness. So the pasuk thus intimates that heaven and earth were created through the attribute of Chesed, which Avram was known for. It's interesting how the world is created with the attribute of Chesed Avram. At the end of days, the third Beis Hamikdash is going to be eternal because it's representative of eternality and truth, which is represented by by Yaakov. Sorry. However, after the creation of man, to work it, that our mission is to do whatever we can to bring about the blessings of Hashem and arouse the divine energy. Every time there's bracha and shefa from above, it's because we do what we can, and Hashem waits for us to respond to our avodah, to our service. Through the acts of charity and kindness that we Jews perform in this world. So these good deeds draw down the infinite influence, divine influence from the Yud of Hashem's name, from the level of Chachma, to the final Hey of Hashem's name, the level of Malchus. In this way, good deeds bring together and make the name of Hashem and draw it down in its entirety. So that's when we do our part, when we give tzedakah, and we do kindness and righteousness in this world, we're bringing down the name of Hashem. We're completing the Yud Kei Vav Kei by bringing down the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey into this world. So that is, so to speak, how we make the name of Hashem in this world. Our sages have said that whoever says he has nothing except for Torah, meaning he doesn't do any good deeds, he doesn't really have Torah. You need to do chesed and give tzedakah, not just in money, but in every possible way, in order to really have Torah. One should engage with Torah and in the performance of good deeds. For though the Torah derives from Chachma, by Raisa Miskayim Alma, the world subsists, the world exists, let's say, by virtue of the Torah. And those who discourse in it, meaning you can't just learn Torah, you have to do Torah. And doing Torah is being kind to others, having Avos Yisrael and reaching out and helping a fellow. Kividiburam, mamshichim ha'oros, ha'ashbois, chachma ilam, makar ha'Torah, lebechinas oisis dibur shebehem nivra ha'olam. By speaking of Torah, there are certain illuminations and effusions from Supreme Chachma, the source of the Torah, into the plane of the letters of speech with which the world was created. Great. Our sages have said, do not read it boy noyach, your children, but boy noyach, your builders, where they build the world through the Torah study. So obviously we need the study of Torah. Nevertheless, this flow of Chachma to the letters of speech is a great descent. To accomplish this, it's necessary to arouse supernal chesed, which, like water, is drawn down from the highest place to the lowest. Hashem wants to give his chachma, his chesed, it comes down like water trickles down to the lowest place. How? How do we bring down Hashem's chesed to all of us? Through acts of tzedakah and kindness here below. Whereby one diffuses life and kindness to revive the spirit of the humble and the downcast. By doing so, one draws down supernal kindness so that the vitality of Chachma descends to the letters of speech, the source of all creation. Al Yisal Chachma Chacham b'Chachmasai Ki Mezois Yisal B'Chulu Ki Ani Hashem Oiseh Chesed. There's a passage that says, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, but in this, let him glory in understanding and knowing me, Hashem. But in such a manner that it brings down the fulfillment of the pasuk that follows, for I am Hashem who acts with kindness. So we see that wisdom is justifiably glorified when it leads to acts of kindness. You can't just learn and say, look how much I know. You have to act, you have to do. And once we do that, it evokes the reciprocal act of kindness from Hashem. It is chesed. When we do kindness to others, that's what brings kindness from Hashem down. If not, it would have just been called his wisdom, and it would have ended there. But with no downward flow of life from it. So the takeaway for today, Chavra, is Hashem created the world on his own volition. There was no initiation from the human beings because we didn't exist yet. The world didn't exist. Hashem decided out of his own kindness to create the world. But sustaining the world thereafter, he gave over to mankind. You, each and every one of us. It's a job to elicit divine energy. The brachas that come from above are the reciprocation of our efforts, of our chesed, of our reaching out to others, lifting them up in spirit and with love. And that is our job. And that's how we not only sustain ourselves and bring brachas to ourselves and our families, but really, ultimately, the entire world. Big responsibility. Now go do it. Have a good day. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow.